Tomboy Official, what is up? Good morning. All right, I finally posted a couple episodes. Hopefully you guys like the Pride ones. That's not gonna be every single weekend, unfortunately. I wish it was, but it's not. And I did say in there some topics that I wanted to bring up later. By this point, I think the dating related topic is probably the only thing I've probably posted so far, but I decided just to hit record Monday morning. I've had some C4, a little bit of the pre-workout, not a full scoop, but it's starting to kick in, and then some of the Smart Energy, not a full can. So I still have half the can from my Sunday drive back from Pride. At this point when I'm recording, it's Monday. I'm probably going to post this for Tuesday though, unless I forget. But woke up at like 6 or so with my new battery in my phone. Good news, I had my phone screen on all night, and basically it was at like 100, probably around, what time was I laying down? I was probably laying down around 8 p.m. or so. So my screen was on from 8 p.m. to 6 something a.m. And dude, it survived. It was still at 27%. So, but also, I don't know, I'm getting ads. Like my VPN isn't blocking YouTube ads anymore. So I might have to find something else, or I don't know what I would do. But I don't know. I don't know what I wanted to talk about, but I guess I kind of, at the moment, it's going to be brief because I'm like, once the pre-workout kicks in, I kind of want to work out before work here, but because I realized 5 p.m. is not ideal. I keep skipping days, and I'm up. At this point, I don't even care if I'm tired for work because I'm not falling back to sleep anyway, so it makes more sense to just be productive with the time and whatever, at least working out on an empty stomach, it's going to be a short, kind of quick workout, but I'd rather kind of do that. But I kind of wanted to talk about kind of body positivity. I don't know. I don't really know what the term is, but maybe it's attractiveness, maybe it's like body positivity, somewhere along those lines. But when I was at the festival, I was kind of thinking, these people, there's a lot of attractive looking people, and I think, I don't remember, I was talking to someone way back, and I don't want to get in too much detail about that specific conversation with that person, but it's someone I've known since I was, I don't even know how old, like 18, maybe probably like 18, but they've always been like an older person in my life, not like older, but but we're close friends, we can talk about things, and I think we got into a topic kind of about like attractiveness, sex positivity, body positivity, and I guess through talking to that person, I kind of realized that people don't really always understand their own attractiveness. Like, it's hard to judge, and I think sometime, I think we got into this conversation. It wasn't a very specific conversation. It was just kind of like back and forth over the course of probably like a month or so, like, or maybe 2 months, just talking about like different topics like that, kind of like about attractiveness, and kind of like we were kind of asking each other like, okay, what is it about me that you think somebody would maybe not like, or whatever, what is it about me that somebody would be like, that, just like dating wise or something like that, like quirks, flaws, I mean, it wasn't like the easiest conversation, but it's kind of like, we're kind of like, why not? Like who else are you gonna have those conversations with if not with your friends, and they know you well? And I think we got into this conversation where it was like, this person I was talking to, this friend, we were both kind of like, I guess there was a person we knew that thinks of themselves as an unattractive person. And we were both kind of like, well, I don't see them that way. Do you see them that way? And, I was like, no, I don't think they're unattractive. Like, I wouldn't label them as, like, unattractive, like, physically unattractive. And this person thought of themselves as, like, an ugly, unattractive person. And I was like, that's a little shocking, because they're not. Like, and their personality isn't, like, they're not the most popular person, but it's kind of like they don't have like a bad personality, just like quirky, and maybe people get impatient, or maybe they're not like popular, like, you know what I mean? Like, but also it's the people that we knew that weren't very open-minded with the social circle that we kind of knew each other from, the cultural circle we kind of knew each other from. And I was kind of thinking about that person, and I was like, in other circles, I think other people would be more understanding and like flexible with like their interactions with this person. They wouldn't be so impatient. And I think the impatience and just kind of like the well, I'm cooler than you kind of mentality that some people in that cultural group that we were a part of, the people who were in that group were the ones that kind of made this person almost feel like they were like an ugly, unattractive person, because they kind of got, I think shunned is too strong of a word, but they kind of got kind of like a label, like you're a dork or nerd kind of thing. But I mean, this is like in adulthood. I'm not even talking like high school, junior high. I'm talking like people independently, like working, having apartments, working jobs, driving their own cars, and being a part of like a community cultural group where, I'm trying not to be specific, and I am kind of mixing up the story a little bit too, just to be honest, because I don't want it to be like too on point, but all the ideas and major pieces are there, just so you know. But basically, yeah, me and this person were kind of discussing that whole dynamic where we're like, well, is that the truth? Is that the actual truth, that this person is not an attractive individual? And that wasn't even the case. It was more so, they were a little, I don't even know if annoying is the right word, because that's not right. They weren't annoying. Not fully. They just, maybe they didn't really have topics to really engage with a lot with other people, but also other people weren't getting to know them. And also, me and my friend kind of got to know this person, and also they weren't, it was kind of like there was almost pressure in the community to kind of single people out, and that person kind of got singled out, but it wasn't their fault. Like, it was more like socially, like they were maybe a little weird, but really a nice person. They were never like unhelpful. They were always volunteering, like on the surface with stuff. And even when you would talk to them, I mean, I would say that they were more genuine, kinder, more loyal than all the people who were maybe like the cool people or thought they were the cool people or whatever. So it was kind of just strangely almost like eye-opening. Like eye-opening to see that like sometimes people just don't have a good idea of their own attractiveness. And attractiveness isn't always just the physical appearance, it's the personality and everything. And like for me, I know I make kind of weird first impressions. Like if I'm not in the mood to talk to people, if I'm like, oh, I'm tired. Like Friday night, I met a couple people and I was kind of tired, and I'm like, dude, I worked all day and then came out to a concert, and I was like, I want to catch up with the people I know, but it's like I don't really want to meet brand new people tonight and like fake conversations. Kind of what I do in those settings is I kind of just let the other people talk and I kind of chime in on what they say, and I'm like, I don't really want to talk about my life or anything, like, because I don't really want to get involved with new people. Sometimes I'm like, that's not what I came here for. I came here to watch a show. I didn't come here to meet anyone. And especially meeting people who are already, they're dating someone, they kind of got relationships established. I'm not saying I only like to meet single people. I'm just saying, like, meeting a friend of a friend. Like, I was like, yeah, I can be friendly, but not like have to like involve myself, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? But it was kind of an interesting topic of conversation, because I feel like these types of topics, they don't come up all the time, and when they do, it is hard to find people that you can kind of authentically discuss these topics with, run things by, and have people kind of give you their perspective of you, or criticism or constructive criticism. I mean, I feel like people don't need to be like overly worried, about trying to, get constructive criticism from people. But I think a lot of, I was thinking about it, and I'm like, a lot of people might think that they're unattractive, and that's why different things are hard for them, like with dating or finding people or whatever. But I don't think that's really the case. I don't think it's like an attractiveness or lack of attractiveness kind of thing. I think sometimes it is that combo of like meeting someone, even if it's just for friendships. Like, if it's for friendships, like, don't underestimate friendships. And especially, I'd say, like, queer, LGBTQ plus types of friendships. Because they are, I don't want to say they're deeper. They're not deeper friendships always, but it's kind of baked into the culture, I'd say, socially, that people do kind of seem to go the direction of a deeper connection often. I don't know if it's like 100% of the time, but I've kind of noticed that with my LGBT friends. There's kind of more depth sometimes, maybe depth faster. I don't really know exactly where that comes from, but I've definitely noticed it. But yeah, guys, I'll see during work if I get more kind of more thoughts along the lines of this topic, or something kind of relevant. But that's kind of all that was kind of on my mind this morning, was kind of like the positivity behind things. I feel like at Pride, and during Pride Month, but at Pride you kind of see more, positivity towards things. Like even, okay, like I kind of mentioned at the concert how, 3 of the artists, the lead singers, let me see. So Katie from Muna, the lead singer, and Tokisha, the singer, the Latin singer, and or Latina singer, Latinx singer, and Jojo Siwa. They both had outfits on that were kind of, not in a bad way. Like, I mentioned that they were kind of like, they were definitely skimpy, almost beach attire, kind of like almost bikinis basically, or lingerie, see-through sheer stuff. I actually went back through some of their other videos, and some, not a lot, but I was like, okay, I don't see them wearing this in other concerts. They were more clothed, or, I mean, it depends on the venue, and, like if you're playing for like some acoustic set or whatever, you're probably not going to be wearing like bikinis and things. But I mean, it was just interesting. I was like, okay, the lead singer is kind of having like more, it seemed more like an open, like maybe because they know Pride festivals are more open-minded toward, attire. Maybe that's where it came from. And I was kind of thinking about that, and I was like, okay, that's kind of an interesting approach, because I do think it was positive for them. I don't know if they're the ones who chose what they wore, because the Muna lead singer's outfit almost resembled some kind of leather bondage type of thing, and maybe that's the impression she was going for, and maybe that's kind of culturally kind of her thing. And if so, that's cool. If she's like, okay, I want to like represent this, like when else is she gonna get an opportunity as a singer to be like, oh yeah, and I'm into this, like it probably isn't coming up all the time. But, and also to have like queer musicians just singing about queer topics, and like I don't know, I guess this will be the last thing I kind of say for the moment anyways, unless I come up with more to add to this episode later on. But I remember singing songs, from like, let's just say anything off the radio, and then like if they had like the lyrics like he or she or whatever, and sometimes way back in the day people would like change the lyrics when they were singing it if they weren't the gender that was like say if it was a woman singing a song about a man, she's like in love with this man or whatever, and then if you're a woman that likes men and you're singing, or sorry, if you're a man that likes women and you're singing that song, back in the day, I remember with friends and stuff, people used to like change the lyrics and be like, instead of saying he, the guy who likes women would say she or whatever. And it's like, just that kind of stuff. So even like, you know, growing up as a person who is not a straight person or maybe not a cis person, and then not even having music that's like representative of your own, you know, romantic life or dating life or sexual interest life, and not even having people like singing about it, you know, and then you're like, well, I'm like changing these lyrics and like all this kind of stuff. So it's kind of cool, even just on that note, you know, to have bands who are just like, you know, they're like, we're just gonna change the lyrics, you know, make the lyrics fit us and fit our, you know, our actual interests of the community, and interest of potentially of some of the fans in the community and stuff, instead of being like having to sing about like, all right, you're a woman, you better be singing about men. And it's like, but we all know that, you know, it's a gay woman, why is she singing about men? I mean, maybe she dated men, but it's kind of like we're seeing that kind of fade away more. And that's another aspect that I would say is kind of positive, you know, people being able to kind of tell their own love stories and sing about their own interests and not be like pressured to just sing about only, you know, what's gonna cater towards the cishet population. But all right, I've been stretching all this time, so I need to kind of get into the more short-term explosive part of this workout. I'm gonna throw some eggs on the stove to boil, and then they'll be ready by the time I'm done with the workout in like 15-20 minutes, and then I'll have to start work at 8:30. It's 7:58 right now, a.m. So I might post a couple little topics. I gotta go back and see what I said I was gonna post about, because I honestly don't remember. I didn't write it down. I only remembered the dating topic, and then there were some other social topics, at least one or two others. But this is kind of all that came to mind, just based on what I was thinking about and watching last night.